What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, February 2nd, 2020. This is it. Bitcoin a little over $100 away from extreme resistance. To me, this is the moment of truth in terms of the charts. I want to talk about it. We're looking at like $9,550. Bitcoin, can it close a weekly candle above that price? I want to talk about that in this video. Let's jump into the video. As you see, we're on the weekly chart, very zoomed in. You see this area of resistance. This area back here is back in October, into November. We had this resistance on the weekly. This was a lower high for Bitcoin in this descending pattern. And let's zoom out on the charts a little bit to really get an idea of what that looks like. So when we're looking at the charts zoomed out, we have this falling pattern that we've been tracking. On this channel, we've been discussing the similarities to the falling pattern back here. The top of the bear market, the top of the bull market down into the bear market. Very similar patterns, and we are at a crucial area in terms of Bitcoin. So what is that crucial area? I want to zoom in on Bitcoin on the weekly chart back in that bear market. And I want to put a trend line out there for you to keep an eye out on. So back on the weekly chart, we can talk about Bitcoin, how Bitcoin kind of had this series of lower highs, right, leading into support at the 50 moving average, this blue line, right? And I'm sure many analysts, probably including myself, are doing videos about this bounce on the 50-week moving average back through that trend line, right? Talking about Bitcoin making a move to break this previous lower high, to kind of have this reversal of sorts for Bitcoin so that we don't continue down. That didn't happen. We put in a lower high, but that's what it was, a lower high from this previous swing high, and then we continued back down through the 50 moving average. Now, if we go to the weekly chart again, and we just kind of cruise over to where we are now, you see like this mini version of that bull market high to bear market low. And this is on the weekly chart. And we can do the same thing. We can take our trend line. We see the series of lower highs leading right into support at the 50 moving average. And what has happened? We've broken that trend line. It's looking good. And now we're asking ourselves again, can we get a break above this previous swing high? And this was back in October. And can Bitcoin really put in a reversal here? Now, the biggest thing to be concerned of, if you want to be concerned for further downside for Bitcoin, is the fact that we get failure very similar to the failure that we got, back in May or April in the middle of the bear market, right? We got rejection. Bitcoin just put in a lower high, and then we broke the 50 moving average. This is the biggest thing to watch for. Bitcoin just putting in a lower high very close to this previous high, and then breaking back down through this 50 moving average. That could play out. I just want to throw that out there. We are very close to finding out. Bitcoin's in a way different part of the cycle. There's a lot more momentum. What's really good is if you look at support at the 50 moving average down here, you can see Bitcoin's consolidating around that 50 moving average for months, really, right? Back around November into January, the beginning of January. And that wasn't really the case if you zoom out on the charts and you look back at Bitcoin in that bear market, right? It was just maybe a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, not much consolidation, and then the break. So it was nice to see this longer period of consolidation. And like I said, Bitcoin is at a way different part of its cycle right now. We're just trying to define the most recent lower high. Where is it going to be? The high or low from this bear market low, right? So everybody wants it to be here. We're just trying to define that. And what that looks like, you can get a kind of an idea of what that looks like on the daily chart. And that's simply this. Bitcoin, instead of seeing resistance here, right, we get a continuation up and we break this previous swing high. And then we're finally putting in a higher high out of this midterm kind of falling wedge or falling channel, descending channel, whatever you want to call it. Now, we can compare differences and we can say that would ultimately lead to the 50 moving average crossing back above the 200 moving average, extremely bullish. That's not what happened last time, right? We had this previous bear market swing high, maybe talking about potentially getting that bullish cross above the 200 moving average. That didn't happen. That's how that played out. We don't want that to happen. This is really like the area I'm watching out for most. And just to kind of bring it all together, we're talking about this price point right around 90 or 9,550 or so, Bitcoin closing on the weekly above that area. it's really one of the main things I'm looking for. There's so much other stuff to kind of watch out for Bitcoin, but that is one of the most important things. Wanted to share it with you. Let me know your thoughts. We're tracking this thing. Let's see what Bitcoin does. I'm hoping for that bullish break. Everybody wants it. I do not want to see more downside. I do not. But we always must anticipate resistance, especially at these key areas. Time will tell. We will see. If you're here and not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Hit the like button on your way out. I really appreciate you coming by. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, and God bless.